so I guess we'll just have to see. Looks like we'll be heading into our pick and ban now. Once again, it's M8 Dragons versus Samurai Gamers Halo. So if M8HEXA Dragons wins this match right here, we are pretty much guaranteed a slot straight into the finals, and it will be up to Samurai Gamers and Crossfire to kind of jig it out for that second slot. But of course, if Samurai Gamers Halo wins this game, then we might potentially see a scenario wherein we're contending for, you know, around about 1-1 equal. That could be a possibility, but time will tell us to head into this pick and ban phase.
I'm pretty excited, Arctic. We're gonna be seeing the Superman being played in match 2 as it fell to the hands of M8D. But now for SGH, Samurai Gamers Halo, now playing against one of the teams who did have a slight momentum from match 1, now entering match 2. Let's see how things will pan out. As for SGH, we'll try and take away some wins, but for M8D, I think they fired up even more. Ooh, that's interesting to see, Arctic. A Thresh hover will be a lock.
Gonna be going over that rush right there. Was quite the prime pick during the Season 1 Grand Finals, most especially utilized by Clutch Guild. But looks like we'll be seeing Samurai Gamers Halo bring it out for themselves. And you know, the interesting thing that I like about Samurai Gamers Halo, based on what I've seen from them in their road to the national finals, also heading into their last game against Brent Esports, is they have quite a flexibility when it comes to their hero pool. So I think they can pull off a few surprise picks when they want to, but time will tell. Meanwhile, M8HEXA, we're going to shake things up a bit by going for the Tell Honest for Jake. Potentially.
What interesting adaptability we're seeing from M8D. These are one of the picks that we didn't see from match 1 moving on to match 2. This is something I think that's tailored towards SGH in this drafting, because we're seeing some interesting picks here. One of Tell Honest, annoying here if you would say, because of the ridiculous zone, but for SGH, looks like this is something that we kept seeing in the PH qualifiers. One of the things that it's really in trend here, Jocknor plus one of the banned out supports that we do see normally.
Yes, so that's going to be the lock-in right there. Samurai Gamers Halo, really interesting composition that they have. What I kind of like about it is they have a lot of heroes to make sure that that Joker is wall protected. Shognar, the Kresh, the Kilgroth to an extent can also fulfill that role if needed. So we'll just have to see if SGH can execute to what they've managed to draft here, because meanwhile, for the side of M8HEXA Dragons, I'd say it's a little bit more well-rounded. There's a lot of ways that they could amp up in this game, and if Samurai Gamers falls behind, they'll fall behind really, really hard. But I mean, they have a few contingencies in the form of what tanky heroes that they have, so we'll see how that actually works out in the battlefield later on.
Once we load up to the entire battlefield. But when you talk about the Talanas, and I think I completely agree with your point there, Arctic, when it comes to the Choknor, one of the supports with the Chaos Protection, that you gotta hand it to one of the heroes that was banned out a lot during Season 1 Valor Cup. But now in Season 2, it's a bit available because we know there are more powerful picks. That would be terrible if it fell to the wrong hands. Now we're seeing it in the hands of M8D as Superman pick. As let's see how things will pan out here onto the battlefield. This will be interesting. Superman's game being shown in our match 2 of the wild cards.
So there you have it. Let's go ahead and see, can Samurai Gamers Halo effectively take down M8HEXA Dragons, who's had, I'd say, a team that's having better momentum right now just because they did win their first match here.
And I think they know what to expect in the coming games. Also, they're a bit warmed up here because for M8HEXA Dragons, I wonder how things will pan out, because for SGH, they're putting the Kilgroth in the mid lane with the Joker doing some support here with some chip damage, but the Alice is somehow, you have to watch out for the Alice because Lubu and Alice are spotted on their red side.
Let's see, M8Z just lingering around. I'm wondering how this will fare out though, because Jaquan, I think he'll have a safer phase since he is up against this Chognar, so I think it's going to be a little bit more quiet until such time we do see gangs towards the spot lane. But meanwhile, it looks like we're going to see a bit more coverage here. JJC going to be going for roams once again. I think the ideal heroes that he'll probably go full protect for is this L'Oreal, hover over towards the bottom as well for the Tell Honest, because Superman, he could pretty much fend for himself in the top lane.
Superman can do everything. As we always talk about, I mean, interviews with the players we hear, he can do everything. He is Superman. Not just that, he can be the one to engage and control so many roles. That's why it's one of the powerful heroes that we normally see banned out, or most of the time picked always on the blue side. This is going to be difficult because Kilgroth, can he fare well against Superman? That's the question here, because for Jiro, he has to be careful. I mean, letting the Superman scale is a scary story on its own, and seeing how it's quick to move around the map, controlling Kilgroth.
Well, looks like Abyssal Dragon, Samurai Gamers, will they get it? Looks like Relax will be managed to secure. JJC and Jaquan, they try to go for the contest. Unfortunately, they don't really have the rest of the members of M8 in position to help them out there. So, clean take by SGH overall.
Definitely. Because for M8, they did know that many members were invested in the Spirit Sentinel side, so why not just use that distraction, go for the Abyssal Dragon safely, and they did, because for SGH, they took away the first Abyssal Dragon, but now for M8, they have to think what they need to do here to go further. I mean, put more effort into trying to control this game, because this Joker is going to scale well. Same with the Kilgroth. They're putting him, going both ways. He's in the Dark Slayer lane, now in the jungle, roaming in and out, trying to get as much farm as he can and just power farm his way out. Right now, we can see in the gold that he has the most gold in this team.
Take out Visor, now level 4, could potentially go for these fast roams and respond to action happening elsewhere on this map. So that's something that Samurai Gamers has to be worried about at this point.
And now for M8HEXA Dragons, they have to be careful, because now we're seeing more movements coming into the mid lane. Okay, they're playing the surprise game here, grouping up in the mid lane, just playing out the ways for the L'Oreal. Oh, trying to draw some attention to itself. But for M8, they're not biting just yet.
Looks like a little bit calm here from what we've been seeing here so far. We've seen a few attempts, but nothing else that has pretty much led us to these first floods. I think it's just really both teams voting their time well here, especially if you consider what heroes are seeing Yautza.
That's something that you can watch out for SGH side, because M8D, when you least expect it, they're gonna go for the engage here, because I think what they're trying to do here is just control that Abyssal Dragon lane in the bot. So for M8, they have to realize that for Relax and RVP and Ray, they're going for it, and that's going to be a first blood. Looks like M8 overstayed there and now forced to back off from the Abyssal Dragon area. They were trying their best to go for control, but in the end worked against them.
That was tricky. He had no business.
Yeah.
Just staying there, and as Samurai Gamers, that was just an easy first blood for them to take. And of course, Abyssal Dragon, that second Abyssal Dragon for them. Although, in all fairness, I made Hexa Dragons, though. Not really much of a lost cause. If anything, they're just playing around a 1,000 deficit, so it just pretty much pans out to the 2 Abyssals.
Abyssals is actually a good start for SGH, but now, can they further solidify that lead? Because just the 10,800 gold lead, 1,000 gold lead is not that definitive just yet. And you can expect that for M8, having a Superman is at least a nice fallback they have. They have that Superman to just be there in case they do fall behind in terms of items or damage. But for a Superman, he can do both things, and he goes for the face check, goes over the wall, but gets caught up by Zephyr's knock up there. There's the chaos protection, so they cleanse out from Alice's CC, and now for SGH going for the fight in the river. Tell Alice responding there with the ultimate there. He did get some damage onto the members of M8D. Now SGH low on health. They're trying to back off, but for the Zephyr's going in for Superman. The Visor is kind of low on there. What's he doing? He's backing off. Looks like for M8D again, a small mistake.
Oh my goodness, SGH again, all the more value right there. It all started with that pickup onto L'Oreal. Visor, unfortunately, M8 not really getting the full value off the Superman just yet. Relax might have to back away there. Might not want to overstep his boundaries, not overstay. Looks like that will be the call that SGH will go for. Back away to safety. And just gonna content themselves with what they did manage to build up on, because in all fairness, really starting to manifest in terms of just the goal difference now at 2,000 almost earlier.
Oh man, 2,000 goal lead for SGH. What a good start for them, but I think for M8, they're catching on here because they're going for the Joker. Good thing he did flicker away. Yes. Now in the safety under that tower. But now, this is classic because we did see this before. You go all out on our Joker, we will respond with a Chognar, and M8D. Crash now spotted in the Abyssal Dragon Pit. Challengers, we're seeing now 4 members. Oh, make it 5. Can they respond? Because we're seeing Kilgroth in the end, the Darkslayer lane, just buying some time and clearing out the wave so that the Superman is forced to stay there. But for M8D, they need to utilize Superman. He does such a good job roaming around the map, has great mobility, but we're not seeing it just yet.
Yeah, I think that's the good thing about Jito though. He's pretty much been holding the fort towards top side, that it puts Visor in a position where he can't really just roam around when he feels free to, because of the pressure that Jito has on this Kilgroth. Because if left unchecked, then Jito could just easily shove in through all those turrets towards the top side. So I think that's the thing that M8D is contending with right now.
And now the thing that M8D is doing here is reeling in SGH as they're going for the bite here. But for Relax, not having it here. Lubu takes that kill there. This is all about SGH using the numbers advantage, Artie. I mean, we're seeing a pattern here is that you think they're playing safely, but no, they're going for those cheeky plays where they know they have the advantage. No risks for them. We saw it just right now, actually, as Lubu was taken down by SGH's key members. Now, 3 members going in for this first tower. That's going to be their first tower for the game, and now they're eyeing the bot lane because we're seeing, okay, it's going to be a 4-man squad in the bot. Telana's recalling, they're trying to back off, but I think for SGH, very methodic, very surgical procedure here. We're seeing one by one. They're done with the mid, go straight for the bot, and now they're going for a full-on push. What's this? Only 2 members? Okay, make it 3. More than merrier, because for M8D, they need all the help they can get here. Having a gold deficit of nearing 5,000, that's huge.
I think that I really like the fluidity coming in from Samurai Gamers Halo so far. Exactly. Quite smooth that we're seeing here. I love the transitions. They were able to systematically take down these turrets one by one, earlier towards mid, transition towards the bot side. And again, full control over this Abyssal Dragon so far. If anything, M8HEXA hasn't even been able to touch this so far within these first, heading into the 9 minutes of this game.
Yep, and now with the control they have from the mid to the bot, now they get the 4th Abyssal Dragon, further solidifying their gold lead. I mean, that's just great. 6,000 gold lead for SGH, and now looks like Superman cannot even deal with the Kilgroth here. Look at the attack speed. He's immortal. He's not dying. He's trying to just survive, and this is classic Kilgroth Arctic that we're seeing right now in this game. With 4 Abyssal Dragons, you'd think that he has all the items he needs at this point.
Yes, and man, oh man, just like that, they're going for an early Dark Slayer. And M8HEXA Dragons, they're just in no position whatsoever to have contested that. And this is going to be massive for Samurai Gamers. Considering the lead that they have, it just pushes their advantages all the more.
And now for SGH, getting a 0-6 kill score. Okay, Dark Slayer is on their hands. Things look pretty complicated for M8D. They did get the Superman, but the Kilgroth was more than enough to chain him down in the Dark Slayer lane. Now we're seeing 4-0-1 configuration in the map here. Joker in the bot lane with the Telanas. Okay, this is dangerous. A dive is inevitable, but for M8D, they will force some things here in the top lane. But for SGH, they're not biting. They're not going for it because they know that why should we when we have the Dark Slayer buff and we have 4 members stacked up, especially we have a Kilgroth here, just gonna mow down the towers.
Yeah, and look at this, M8HEXA Dragons. They can't even do much with this.
They're just going in and out of the fight, just walking around, and see, immediately gets swallowed up there. No members are dying here, especially look at Jito with the Kilgroth just regenerating his health. Superman himself cannot engage because the members of M8D are too scared. Okay, a dive happened there by the Zephyrus, getting the Superman, chipping him down. L'Oreal doing some poke damage there, but meanwhile in the other side of the map we saw the Joker taking down the Telanas, and now things look pretty tense here as every lane is being pressured by SGH. Oh god, look at the damage. L'Oreal, oh, that is disastrous for M8D as the Joker is just demolishing that lane, taking down the Telanas, and now the L'Oreal. Next would be Superman, but Relax picks it up.
Whew. And that's going to be Samurai Gamers Halo. So no nuts to their name, and I think they're going to go for the perfect finish right here and go for this core. They're just waiting for that wave to come in just so that they could seal the deal right here. All 5 members are up and kicking, and that's going to be the dive in right there. They're going to go for JJC. JJC is trying to walk it up, but then again, with all 5 members on this case, it's a good done deal as game 1, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to go to the Philippine squad. Samurai Gamers Halo taking it against M8HEXA Dragons.
What a picture-perfect finish we saw there, Arctic. 14,000 gold late, if you would count it there. And that is incredible for SGH. Despite the Superman take, they know that we will answer you guys with a kill graph. We'll just chain him down, make him not roam around the map further, making his passive a bit useless.
And just like that, first perfect game of the wild cards right there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think that was such a dominating performance. Like, I can't even think of an opportunity where M8HEXA Dragons had a shining moment in that. Here were the Samurai Gamers milling through all those minutes.
I think it's going to be an interesting trend, Arctic. We saw in match 1, it was a 2-for-1. Could match 2 be a sweep, if you would say? With that performance, that's going to be a 0 kill going to M8D. Not to mention, if you check out the match summary, you can see what just happened. I mean, 0-5. God, no kills going to M8D.
And just no, it's interesting because Longshan was kind of the consistent player in our previous match 1, but heading into this, Longshan was pretty much a non-factor throughout. If anything, he concurred the most deaths. So I don't know. I'm having flashbacks of the wildcards from season 1 in a way where the Philippine games were just so dominant, and then the ones that did go between Malaysia and Singapore were pretty much almost equal, and that's kind of what we saw in match 1. Heading into this match 2, I'm really hoping that's not the trend though, because I would definitely love to see a shake-up wherein Malaysia and Singapore becomes a contender that could go up against Team Philippines. But from what we see in this game right here, Samurai Gamer Halo's completely different level just with what they demonstrated in game 1.
I mean, it's always nice to see a new trend, Arctic, but it's going to be a great boost for SGH if they get a 2-0. Not just that, we get to see the trend now. The season 1, the PH were the dominating teams here, entering the wildcards, getting a sweep, and we had 2 representatives going for the Valor Cup Grand Finals road to AWC. But now here, if SGH gets a 2-0, this can further, prove to the service series that the Philippines has what it takes to compete at an international level.
There you have it. Relax going to be our MVP of the match right there. I mean, I can't really commend him for not having any death because everybody didn't really have a death in this game, but still, I mean, look at that team fight percentage, 69.2%. I mean, that if you see how confident as he was on this Zephyrus, just continues to dive in, didn't even give a care in the world, even if M8HEXA Dragons tried to go toe-to-toe.
I mean, for M8, they did try to answer the approach of SGH, but it's safe to say that for SGH, I think the initial control is something that you can't give. And once you give it to some team like SGH, which really capitalized on that lead, you expect for MTA to try and go for the strong defense we saw in our match 1, game 1, but this did not happen here in our match 2, game 1, because for SGH, just further shut the doors there.
Definitely, just completely shut out. Heading into this game 2, I'm really hoping that M8HEXA Dragons can mount a comeback, because I think game 1, it was just too good. Too good
to be true.
Yeah, too good to be true.
So let's see if SGH can mimic the same performance they had in game 1. Maybe it's not going to be the too good to be true scenario. It's going to be, it's so good that it's so true here. But let's see.